This is a practice video for Themyscira, if that's pronounced right, by Hans Zimmer from the Wonder Woman movie, the string arrangement by Victor Lopez. First violin part, and we're going to take each section one at a time, talk about some of the upper divisi, shifting, and some rhythms and all the accidentals you have in this piece. So first off, 7/8 time, we're going to be counting this as it says at the top of the tempo marking 2 plus 2 plus 3. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, or taco, taco, burrito. No sharps or flats, so watch out for the F naturals and C naturals. And the beginning is just an introduction with some sustained chords. So let's start at measure 12. Sempre staccato, always staccato, so we're going to keep everything very short with some space in between. This will be slower, of course, because we're just learning notes right now. And here we go. So here's kind of the main theme of the whole piece. Measure 12. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. And then you hold a G for a while. Here comes 24, starting this build up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And now we come to our first divisi section. So if you're doing the upper note divisi, you're just going to shift up to third position on that low 3. Again, C natural, so your 2 and 3 will be right next to each other, half step. And then you're going to stay in third position for the E flat. Just go over to the A string, low 2, then a first finger, and then come down to first. Bottom divisi people, you're just going to an E, low 4, E flat, and then so on. The 3/8 notes at the end of 36 together, be careful. Make sure you pull back for the low 3 on the high 2 tape, and then end on the low 2. All right, so now we're at 39. I'm going to start off with the upper divisi part. You're going to be in third position for that low 3, and then shift back down. And then a minute I'll go back and do the lower divisi. So if you're doing lower divisi, feel free to fast forward. So here's 39 for the upper part. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And you do that rhythm over and over until you get to 49, where you'll shift back. All right, so here's my bottom divisi now. You will also be shifting up towards the end of 43, but you're going to do it on the A string, and then switch over to the E string for that low 3. If you're not comfortable with that yet, of course you can put just the C an octave lower and play that low 2 on the A string and don't do any shifting. All right, so here's 39, the lower divisi. Careful of the A sharp low 1 and 42. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So kind of awkward, honestly. That kind of messed me up the first time I did it. So 42 slowly. Watch for the A sharp going right to your C. Repeat the C. Bring the 1 up. Shift to third. Fourth finger. And then C with your low 3. All right, so that'll be the first section to really take a look at. That's going to probably be messy for a while. So now we're at 49, and we are in unison. We're going to start on that 3 and then shift back immediately. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Rest. Now again, if you're doing the upper part, shift right to that 3 in third position again. Otherwise, stay on the lower octave C. Do that rhythm through that whole next line. And now we're going to take the 3/8 notes going into 67. So in 67, careful with your counting. Make sure you place your 8th notes correctly. So here's the 3/8 notes, beat 3, going into measure 67. Again, I'm going to do the upper divisi and watch out for all these flats. Here you go. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 2, Now, bottom people, you have a slightly different rhythm at measure 69. So let's go back and do your part. So here's the 3/8 notes leading into 67, bottom divisi. 1, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3. And again, watch the E flat versus E natural. I didn't mark this, but I should have. So in measure 68, there's an E flat in the upper divisi part, but that also applies to your E flat. So that last note in 68 should be an E flat low 4. Okay, so we're back together at 75. Let's keep going. We're going to be shifting up to third position in a minute, and tons of flats here, so be careful. 75. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Having difficulty reading my own handwriting with the fingerings in there. So there's a couple different ways you could do this little chromatic pattern at 75. So actually at 76, you've got a low 2 G natural. You could then do a high 2 for A flat, high 3 for B flat, and then a 4. Just make sure that's a tight half step. Or you could do 2, low 3, low 4, regular 4. Depends on if you want to scoot your 4 back and forth or if you're going to do some stretching. So figure it out and then just be consistent and do it each time the same way. All right, so that takes us about up to 83. So let's start at 83. We shifted up in the measure before, so here's the upper divisi, and we're going to be getting all the way up to a harmonic. So if you notice at 86, there's a little 0, or it looks like an O above that note. That's your open harmonic, your natural harmonic. That note right there. And we're just going to come from a normal 4 in third position. Just stretch out your pinky, touch lightly, and then you'll get that ringing E harmonic. All right, so here's 83 upper divisi. 1, 2, 3, and like that. All right, moving on to 90. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. All right, and then all of a sudden, we're jumping up. If you're doing the bottom divisi, you've got no issues. But with the top divisi, you're going to suddenly go up to fourth position. So you put your 1 on your fourth finger tape. C natural is going to be a half step, so 1 and 2 are tight. And you're just going to be an octave above, excuse me, the lower part. So let's do this slow for a minute for tuning. So half step and then whole step, whole step. Come down to first position. And then at 106, it could be the same thing. But I'm going to cross over this time instead of shifting back since I have to go back to that C. So this is a 3 on the A string. Back to first. Then I've got my C. All right, so not too bad. Just again, keep your half steps tight for tuning. Then we're holding some notes. 117 is the same melody stuff as you've had before. Let's do 125. So pick ups to 125 if you're in third position already, upper divisi from the previous measures. You'll start on your 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 2, 3. Then back to first, back to third. Now, if you're doing the bottom part, you are changing pitch. So notice where the stems are going down. Upper position or upper divisi, you're just holding all the way through those measures. Lower part, because the stem's going down, that's your note. So let's do 125 for the lower part for rhythm. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Oops. that's how that section will go. All right, so now we're almost to the end. Here's the pickups into 136, and this is going to be pretty much the same as 67. All right, so here again, I'm going to do the upper divisi, 136, 3/8 notes before. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and 1, 2. So 144, I'm sorry for that being out of tune. Again, I was like, wait, what fingering am I going to do? So decide and then just mark it in dark and stick with it. All right, so a couple finger patterns to look out for, a couple shifting things to look out for with those accidentals. But other than that, start working up speed and then double check yourself with being able to play with the professional recording.